Go. There we go. Hi guys, good morning. How you doing? How are all the things? Well, we're at the library today. We're coming to you from the Kids Zone. And if you can see on the wall, we got some fun Dr. Seuss coloring pages that we had gotten in earlier before all of the stuff. But are you ready for a story? Because I am. So, if you want to sing a song, we gotta get ready for this one. Okay. So, if you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, then your hands will surely show it. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, then your feet will surely show it. If you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, shout hooray, hey, hey. If you're ready for a story, shout hooray, hooray. If you're ready for a story, then you will surely show it. If you're ready for a story, shout hooray, hooray. Hi guys, how you doing today? So if you came in a little late, I'm Deanna, but we are getting ready to read today. And today we have Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, written by Judy Barrett. And this one is published by Simon & Schuster, so we've got some rights to do that. Thank you. So, are you ready? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was squeezing oranges for juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we each could eat. And Grandpa was doing all the flipping. Seconds later, something flew through the air, headed toward the kitchen ceiling, and landed right on Henry. After we realized the flying object was only a pancake, well, we laughed, even Grandpa. Breakfast continued quite uneventfully. All of the other pancakes landed in the pan, and all of them were eaten, even the one that landed on Henry. That night, touched off by the pancake incident at breakfast, Grandpa told us this best telltale bedtime story he'd ever told. Across an ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts, and one smaller ocean, there lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. In most ways, it was very much like any other towny town. It had a main street lined with stores, houses with trees and gardens around them, a schoolhouse, about 300 people, and some assorted cats and dogs. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was its weather. It came 3 times a day at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything that everyone ate was from the sky. Whatever the weather served was what they ate. But it never rained rain, it never snowed snow, and it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice, and it snowed mashed potatoes and green beans. Ooh. And sometimes the wind just blew in storms of hamburgers. Wow. That's my favorite picture. The people could watch the weather report on television in the morning, and they could even hear a prediction for the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoons, and knives and napkins with them. That way they would always be prepared for any kind of weather. If there were leftovers, and there usually were, people took them home and put them in their refrigerators in case they ever got hungry between meals. The menu varied. By the time they woke up, the morning breakfast was coming down. After a brief shower of orange juice, low clouds of sunny-side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast, butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast. And most of the time, it rained milk afterwards. For lunch one day, frankfurters already in the rolls blew in from the northwest about 5 miles an hour. There were mustard clouds nearby. Then the wind shifted the east and brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal. Dinner one night consisted of lamb chops, becoming heavy at times with occasional ketchup. And periods of peas, baked potatoes were followed by gradual clearing, with a wonderful jello setting in the west. Look at that one. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had a rather unusual job for a sanitation department. It had to remove some food that fell onto the houses and sidewalks and lawns. The workers cleaned up after every meal and fed all the dogs and cats. Then they emptied some of it into the surrounding oceans for the fish and turtles and whales to eat. The rest of the food was put back into the earth so that the soil would be richer for people's gardens. Life for the townspeople was a delicious world until the weather took a turn for the worst. Chew and Swallow digest. Spaghetti ties up town. One day there was nothing but gorgonzola cheese all day long. Ooh, smelly. The next day there was only broccoli, all overcooked. Ugh. And the next day there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayo. Another day there was pea soup fog. No one could see where they're going, and they could barely find the rest of the meal that got stuck. The food was getting larger and larger, and so were the portions. People were getting frightened. Violent storms blew up frequently. Awful things were happening. One Tuesday, there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long and into the night. There were soft rolls and hard rolls, some with seeds and some without. There was white bread and rye and whole wheat toast. Most of it was larger than they had ever seen bread and rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors. Roofs were damaged, and the sanitation department was beside itself. The mess took the workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. To help out, the people piled up as much bread as they could in their backyards. The birds picked at it a bit, but it just stayed there and got staler and staler. There was a storm of pancakes one morning and a downpour of maple syrup that nearly flooded the town. A huge pancake covered the school. No one could get it off because of its weight, so they had to close the school. The sanitation department gave up. The job was just too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Many houses had been badly damaged by giant meatballs. Stores were boarded up, and there was no more school for the children. So a decision was made to abandon the town of Chew and Swallow. It was a matter of survival. The people glued together the giant pieces of bread sandwich style with peanut butter, and took absolute necessities with them, and set sail on their rafts for new land. After being afloat for a week, they finally reached a small coastal town, which welcomed them. The bread had held up surprisingly well enough for them to build temporary houses for themselves out of it. The children began school again, and the adults all tried to find new places for themselves in the new land. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying food at the supermarket. They found it odd, the way that the food was kept. On shelves, packaged in boxes, cans, and bottles, meat that had to be cooked was kept in large refrigerators. Nothing came down from the sky except rain and snow. The clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs. No one ever got hit by a hamburger again. And nobody dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what happened to it. They were too afraid. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his goodnight kiss. The next morning, we woke up to see snow falling outside the window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual so we could go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter at the top, and we could almost smell mashed potatoes. The end. So, today's fun fact, and this is one that you guys probably already know, but this book was turned into a movie in 2009 by DreamWorks Animation, and it actually did successful enough to have two. So there's two movies, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Yeah. So, today's song, we got Slippery Fish. If you know it, sing along, and if you don't, we'll learn it real quick. And it's pretty simple, and it's pretty fun, and we got some motions. Alright, so, slippery fish, swimming through the water. Okay, you think you got it? It's like that, but with everything. But we got some motions. Okay, so, slippery fish, swimming through the water. Ah! Oh no! He was eaten by an octopus, swimming through the water. An octopus, swimming through the water. Ah! Oh no! He was eaten by a great white shark, swimming through the water. A great white shark, swimming through the water. Ah! Oh no! He was eaten by a big blue whale, swimming through the water. A big blue whale, swimming through the water. Ah! Oh no! He was eaten by me! I know, I ate a whole whale. It was a lot. Okay, cool. Well, have a good day, guys. It's nice to hang out. See you later.